you ever need it. And, that's, by the way, what we're doing right now. We're talking on a podcast together. It's a conversation. It's not so demanding and scary like a lot of people think. Just have a conversation. And that's how you can think of publicity, which will now increase your credibility and drive your visibility and frankly, get you leads and clients and referrals for your business.
Yeah. I lay on the scale, you gotta glow, you gotta glow. She had my attention, she gotta know.
I'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of the Let's Gather podcast. I'm your host Zeke, and in this episode I have Jill Lublin to speak about publicity. You can find more information about her by clicking the link in the description below. I hope you have a nice day and enjoy the show. I'd like to welcome you to a guest on the Let's Gather podcast and allow you the floor to introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here, Ezekiel, with you and your audience. And I love Let's Gather. I think that's a great title. So I'm Jill Lublin, and it's lovely to meet all of you. I'm a publicity expert, and I've actually written 4 books, as you can see behind me, including Guerrilla Publicity and The Profit of Kindness. To that end, I run what I call media mastery intensives, and I help you get out there and create visibility without spending a fortune. And then I run conscious kindness circles, and links will be in the show and invite you to all these wonderful things.
Got it. So I guess we can start with, how did you get first into like publicity, marketing, all that stuff?
It kind of by accident, like many of us find our way into things. So what I was doing was focusing on law school. Yes, I was actually in law school, and frankly, didn't like that very much. And then at that point, started looking for something interesting, and I ended up getting into the music business with music business attorneys, and at least that was more interesting. So I ended up having a much better time, and then really started my career in the music business, which actually taught me all about guerrilla publicity.
Got it. Because I'm a marketing major from college, so I understand like a little bit of publicity of like trying to get out there. So what can I say is like the challenges of publicity these days?
Probably the biggest thing is honestly just doing it. I think that those of you listening, wherever you are in your career, if you're just starting, if you're in a much different place, the point is to start publicity before you ever need it. And that's, by the way, what we're doing right now. We're talking on a podcast together. It's a conversation. It's not so demanding and scary like a lot of people think. Just have a conversation. And that's how you can think of publicity, which will now increase your credibility and drive your visibility and frankly, get you leads and clients and referrals for your business. That's a good thing.
Got it. And to take a step back, so when you made the transition from like being a law in law to publicity, was there any transferable skills, or was it like a whole new world for you?
Well, I actually did that right in law school. So the truth is I dropped out of law school, which was kind of disappointment to myself because I didn't really ever drop out of anything. And that was a bit of a tough fall a little bit for me. And on the other hand, it enabled me to open up my career as an entrepreneur and to do things that I really loved much more, which is really working with people in a whole different way. And finding a message and getting deeper in. So I just had a much better time. Let me just say it like that. And, sometimes I just think you got to take a different, what would I call it? A different lane, and that's okay too. And kind of jump in the deep end, which is what I did.
Got it. Definitely understand like the pivot, make a couple pivots in my life, trying to figure things out.
Exactly. Yeah. And just do it the best way you can. Baby steps make a big difference. So sometimes we take step by step and that's a good thing that happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's fast forward a little bit and go towards like your books. So you've written 4 books. What's kind of the process? What was made you want to write the books, and then the process of writing the books?
Well, I think dreams lay on our hearts sometimes, and one of the things that have been put on my heart was to write a publicity book. So I actually went back and I found this pad of paper that said the ABCs of publicity, which, funny enough, turned into guerrilla publicity. And I basically was telling people I'm going to write a book. I didn't know what the name of it was, and I think sometimes we just got to claim things and go, here's what I'm going to do. We don't always have to know the how and the what and how it's going to happen and all that good stuff. I mean, I wish I did know all that, but none of us do. We're human, right? And part of it is I think sometimes claim what we want to do and let the carpet lay out in front of us and follow it. Like kind of like the Wizard of Oz, right? That went on the yellow brick road. And I think that sometimes we just have to get on the road, right? And it's okay if you make a few wrong turns. And listen, we've all had our good times and harder times. Maybe even I know for me, falling on my face with programs I put out or offers I had that maybe didn't work, but that's part of learning. That's part
Yeah.
of growth.
Yeah, I definitely feel like sometimes my ambitions are too large, which keep me from at least trying or continuing because it just feels like this is very daunting. This isn't gonna happen tomorrow, but it needs to happen eventually.
Yeah, and sometimes it's listen, when I had my first book, Guerrilla Publicity, I remember opening the case and I went, there was this moment of complete, like, oh my gosh, I really did this. Well, you know what? Think about chicks. When little baby chicks, if you've ever seen them being born, have you ever seen them being born or just like fresh out? And the first thing they do is they actually fall on their face and they don't look really cute. You know how chicks look really cute? Well, they don't
Mhm.
look really cute when they're first born. They just basically come out and they fall down. And I think that's a great analogy for life, right? And then they look real cute and then they grow up and they're whatever, right? And I think that sometimes we just do that. We come out and we do the best we can and go in the right direction and be willing to change directions if it's not exactly the right direction. I think we know, you'll get signs along the way, and I watch for signs along the way. Is this the right path to go? And I think we're always still learning and growing, and that's important.
Definitely. And you say these signs, what would you say is a sign? Because sometimes I'll be like looking for signs and I don't know what I'm looking for or what I'm trying to feel.
Well, first of all, how does it feel to you?
Hmm.
And listen, the things I've noticed, sometimes the hardest things are the best things. Sometimes I know it's funny, if something scares me, like, wow, that could be my next big thing. So one of the things I've learned in my career is you got to find people to help you, mentors and coaches. The reason I've been successful is because I always have mentors and coaches around me. I am a mentor and coach for many others in the world of marketing and publicity. And I think we all need to surround ourselves with people doing great things that you can model. So people are in my publicity mastermind groups and in my media mastery intensives, and they're modeling me, which is great. And then I model other people too, right? And I have my coaches and consultants. So I think that makes a world of difference.
Got it. And to stay on the note, would you say it's kind of like the perfect clientele for you? Who do you look for in a client or what do you look
Hmm.
for?
Well, you normally small business owners,
Hmm.
so they could be in many kinds of industries. I've worked with real estate agents and chiropractors, and then life coaches and business coaches and speakers and authors. Really across the board, all kinds of different people. And the truth is, if you have any desire to do a business, be in business, and get more clients, publicity is going to help you do that, and that's exciting.
Got it. And when you're working with these clients, how do you know what to help them with?
Well, I'll tell you, the first place I always start is message. We
Hmm.
got to get message. And you got to get clear about your message. Who are you? What are you presenting to the world? And frankly, why should they care?
Hmm.
And you got to talk to people about why should they care? because, you can have the best product in the world, the best service. You could be so committed and dedicated to giving it to others. But truthfully, if they don't get the why, then why? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And to go to know, oh, you said kindness. You have a
Yes.
series of kindness.
Yeah, so I wrote the book, The
Mhm.
Profit of Kindness. And then I got this, whisper. See, this is a sign, right? I kept getting this feeling in my heart like I've got to run these kindness circles. I got to bring people together from all around the world, which they are. They come on the third Wednesday of every month on Zoom, completely free. And I run kindness circles. And they're just wonderful. And in fact, it's jilllublin.com/kindness circles. Please come join us, and we share kindness together in grace and with networking. So they're really wonderful. And that's just been a terrific thing that people get to do. So that was a sign. And when I started the first one, a lot of people showed up. That was a good thing.
And what would you say is kindness? Because sometimes kindness can be confused with friendliness, niceness. What would you say is your definition of kindness?
By the way, that's all kind, right?
Mhm.
I mean, to be friendly is kind, to be gracious is kind. I help people, particularly in business, be kinder to each other. And what that looks like is asking someone, what do you need? What kind of support? So my kindness circles are set up so that people can actually network and be with each other in kindness and be willing to support each other with what they need next. So it really helps others. And kindness, it can be a simple gesture, like the holding open the door. How about a smile to somebody as you pass them in the street? People are kind of in their own worlds right now. And what I notice is if you just smile at someone, catch their eyes, smile, it makes a difference, or not. But the point is, what I've noticed also is it's also about being kind to yourself.
Mhm.
What do you need to do to be kind to yourself? So in the profit of kindness, we have rocks, because everyone needs ROI, return on investment, but you also need return on kindness principles. So I've defined 7 of them in the book, one of which is, as a return on kindness principle, is patience. How about just being patient? That's helpful. And kind. I mean, let's be honest, the person's taking a long time in the line in front of you. Are you patient or impatient? Could you help them put their groceries on the thing to actually go faster? Or is there something, they might need help with? So I find that's one of them. And flexibility is another return on kindness principle that really helps. Be flexible with people. These are interesting times we live in. And I think the more flexible we can be with others, then you're also kind. And that's a
Mhm.
good thing.
Got it. And I know you have a hard time stop. So is there anything that didn't go over? Do you want to go over? If not, we can let people know where to find you and what you have to offer and your gift.
Yeah, well, thank you. I really want to remind you that
Mhm.
for all of you, your message matters. And for me, the gift of you is your gift to others, right? And publicity is a very powerful strategy to help you give that gift to others again, again, and again in a way that's one to many and very simple. So I would love to help you. I know we've had a short time together, and I have so many other things I could help all of you with in the area of publicity. And I've created an action guide that helps you with more great tips on publicity, and then a free publicity masterclass where I'll give you lots of wonderful, very specific actionable items and answer all of your questions. So how you go do that is you go to jilllublin.com/gift and check that out. Come with me onto my free publicity masterclass, and let's get your publicity out there because, my friends, your message matters.
Nice. Thank you for joining the podcast and willing to be a guest and sharing your
Thank
knowledge.
you.
That brings another episode of the Let's Get Podcast to a close. Again, you can find more information about Jill Lublin by clicking the link in the description below. Hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you there.